Oh, let me tell you this. Diddy right now is in his jail cell. The best thing that ever happened to Diddy since he got charged is Jay-Z. Because Jay is about to make, half of the civil cases against Diddy is filed by Tony Busby. Jay is violating this nigga Tony Busby so crazy, and is going to, that you're going to look at all 17 or 18 of the lawsuits he filed against Diddy and say, bro, if you did that to Jay, what you did to Diddy, we ain't believing none of this shit.
What up, though? It's your boy Bezo. Now, unless you've been living up under a rock for the last couple of weeks, I'm sure you done heard about these recent Jay-Z allegations. So in this video, we ain't about to spill the same talking points and breaking the same news you done already heard in the last several Jay-Z videos, right? In this video, I want to break down how Jay-Z's recent alleged victim, how her story has been debunked in Jay-Z's war with the lawyer Tony Busby, how all that then became a victory for Jay-Z by pretty much clearing his name, at least right now, how that small victory for Jay-Z has just now possibly became a big W for Diddy. Now let's start with the recent Jay-Z allegations, right? When you had this woman and everything hit the news, this 13, when she was 13, her Jay-Z and Diddy so-called did what they did. And then she ended up going on NBC, telling more of the story. And pretty much you had NBC vetting out her story and debunking, because there was a lot of loopholes in her story. So before we go in any further, I want y'all to refresh your memory if you ain't already seen the interview on NBC, right? I want y'all to go and hear this, and then we going to come back of the girl and her story getting debunked. Check this out.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time.
And he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but that's something that would definitely stick in my mind, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me. The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegations are false. The accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, said, because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. This has been extremely distressing for her, to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress. In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, this incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory.
Now let's start with this alleged victim, right? Who happens to be represented by this guy right here with this smirk on his face, Tony Busby. Now this dude, he happens to be representing like over 100-something victims who claim to be assaulted by Diddy. Matter of fact, when I was on Facebook, I seen a link that you could have just clicked on and reached out to his law firm and pretty much got on the class action lawsuit against Diddy and whatnot. But we're going to continue to break that down, right? But what this lawyer did after doing a press conference, talking about how he representing all the victims and all this, what this dude has just did has flew too close to the sun, man, by coming at Jay-Z, right? Which now, just like I said, just may be a big W for Diddy, right? Now, as you heard in the clip from the NBC, that these allegations ain't adding up, man, which now brings this lawyer representing all these victims into question. Now, before the victim's interview, the first red flag for me was seeing all them links on Facebook by this lawyer, right? Looking for anybody with a Diddy story. Then the second red flag was that press conference that this lawyer held. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like he was trying to get some attention. He just seemed like a slime ball to me, but that's neither here nor there, right? But one thing that caught my attention, especially after I seen the interview from this alleged victim, is how when Tony Busby, however you say his name, in his press conference, he spoke on how he vetted all the people in the class action lawsuit against Diddy and the other celebrities, how he vetted all their stories carefully. But then when this victim, alleged victim, goes on NBC, with just a quick little interview, NBC vetted and found several loopholes in the alleged victim story. Now follow me, right? Now Tony Bigsby, however you want to say it. Like I said, this dude done flew too close to the sun by coming at Jay-Z, because what Jay-Z has done now is expose this dude, right? You know what I'm saying? It's now lawsuits against him, essay lawsuits against him, other victims that was represented by him exposing him and his firm allegedly for taking money from them. Pretty much just shot this man's credibility into the dirt. So you got this dude who's representing over 100-something victims for Diddy. Now, if I'm a juror and I hear anybody that got this dude speaking on their behalf, man, I'm looking at them and him side eye. And like I said, what that has done is just became a big W for Diddy. Because this dude is representing at least 70 to 80% of the so-called alleged victims that's coming out against Diddy. So what he done did is shot his credibility and shot all the 80% of the victims' credibility as well. Because now you got to question the motives against them. Now I'm going to play real quick one of the new allegations towards Tony Busby, and we're going to come right back. Check this out.
A Louisiana man filed a lawsuit against the attorney and his firm. According to the complaint, Adam Guidry was a ship captain who was severely injured on the job. And in the filing, it states the Busby defendants told Guidry his case was worth $1 million, but later coerced him into settling for less than 1/3 of that amount. In insisting that he settle, Busby defendants never explained Guidry's options, never discussed the pros and cons of trial versus settlement, never disclosed mounting expenses, and never disclosed the meager amount Guidry would receive at distribution. Instead, Busby defendants told Guidry he had no choice. Guidry was vulnerable. He had lost his job as a result of his injury. He was financially destitute. His marriage had failed, and he was struggling with addiction. Relying on his lawyers, Guidry accepted. So according to Guidry, they settled the case for $325,000, but when the case was over and the funds were dispersed, he only got, allegedly, a little more than $5,000. Allegedly, the Busby law firm kept the rest to cover fees and expenses, including $90,000 for expert witness fees, nearly $6,000 for postage and copies, nearly $10,000 for more copies, and another $9,000 for travel expenses. The lawsuit also alleges that Busby charged interest on what he called loans, basically money up front that the firm used to pay for things before a settlement had been reached.
Now, even though this slimy lawyer has now been exposed for allegedly trying to extort Jay-Z, right, in my opinion, even though all of this is going down with this lawyer, and like I said, this is just now became a big W for Diddy, I'm not saying that there's real victims out here, man, that's experienced a real situation behind all this, right? So to the real victims, I can't begin to imagine your thought process or what it's like to experience the after effects of being traumatized by being assaulted, right? I just hope we can figure out a way to, find some mid-ground with all this, right? Like, I feel like the real victim should speak out against, slimy lawyers that's trying to come up off of real victim situations, man. And speak out against people that's with loopholes in their stories, man, that's trying to be a part of real victim situations as well, man. I feel like real victims should speak up, man, anytime some stuff like this is going down, man, because it affects the real victims, man. It creates doubt. And that is why Diddy just may have caught a big W with this lawyer, man. Diddy just may have caught a big W, man, because it's questioning the real victim stories. So, we just got to stay tuned in and see what's really going down, right? But to the real victims, man, I feel your pain. This Bezo, y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Peace.